Hey, what is going on, everyone? This is Dorrani and Dom from VG247.com, and we have been playing a little indie game called Tunic. I've been waiting for it for a very, very long time, and I think a lot of other people have as well. Tell us a bit about what Tunic is, Dom.
Alright, so Tunic is, I guess the best way to describe it, it's kind of like new Zelda. If you've ever played one of the classic Zelda games, you'll boot up Tunic, you've got your shield attacks, your sword attacks, and your magic attacks. It's isometric top-down. You play as a little fox on a little adventure, and it's kind of wordless. You go around, you can go to a few areas to start with, and then you open up the more abilities and weapons you get. And yeah, it's an adventure game very similar to the early Zeldas.
It's quite clear where it got its inspiration from, definitely.
Yeah, 100%. And similar to Death's Door that came out last year, it's this kind of like new Zelda genre that's taken some of the concepts and sort of themes that the originals ran with back in the day and doing its own little thing around it. I think Tunic is a bit more simplistic than Death's Door was, and it's not quite kind of as hardcore on the combat. But that's nice. It's good. It's like it's like a little casual indie game and absolutely gorgeous.
I think we need more games where we give animals weapons. That's what I'm saying. Death's Door, you give a crow. Is it a crow or is it a raven? Crow?
I think it's a crow, right?
It's a crow, yeah. And then obviously with Tunic, it's a fox. We need, I don't know, I'm trying to think what animal we need to see next.
Otter.
Yeah, come on.
Otter, the water one. We've got air for the crow. We've got land for the fox. We can do water for the otter, right?
There you go. That would be sick.
Make its own little like Zelda game Triforce of all these animals doing things, you know?
Definitely. But the gameplay that's going to be on screen now is from the first hour of the game. It's not the biggest game, right? So
I
don't want to show off too much.
Yeah, I think you could probably, if you're blitzing it and going for it, you could probably do it in a couple of hours, a night maybe even. I like games like this. I've recently been playing. People have been on Elden Ring. I've done the new Final Fantasy Stranger of Paradise, and these are like 30+ hour games, and that's all well and good. But for a little palate cleanser in between, sometimes you want something cozy and nice and pleasant. And even though this game is quite oblique, and you've kind of got to find your way and uncover things, and there's no like hand holding or sign. Well, there is signposting, but it's quite obscure.
Yeah.
Games like this they're just really nice. Just really nice to kind of like chew on for a little bit in between the bigger projects, you know.
I like that. Palate cleanser, that's probably the perfect word to use there, because games like Elden Ring, oh man, you say 30 hour, I am like 50 hours in and I've killed 3 of the main bosses with like 3 more to go, and I'm just like, like, you know when you're enjoying something but it's just not ending, like not ending. Not that I do want it to end because it's a fantastic game, but we're not here to speak about Elden Ring. Tunic, props to the guy who developed this, because it's one dude. It's like one guy. His name's Andrew Shouldice.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, one guy, man. I think that is incredible, and that's why it probably took so long. But you have to have patience with stuff like this, because I'm sure he's quite proud of what he's made.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think my first exposure to Tunic was an Xbox showcase, possibly one of the E3 ones, like 2017, 18, I think. Yeah. And I did get hands on with it in a much more like rudimentary form than it is now. That year or the year after at E3, and it's amazing to see how far it's come, because back then it was very blocky and kind of like isometric. Now it is isometric still, but everything's really nice. The shading and the lighting is standout. And all the kind of edges are really rounded. My favorite thing about it so far is the secret paths that kind of like stick a middle finger up to you. If you go and complete a little area and you come back around the back or something, and you'll end up in an area you've walked through, and that path was right there for you to take all along. You just didn't see it. And I'm like, that level design is like, you smile because it's outsmarted you, but you're also thinking, I could have saved myself like 20 minutes.
I'm so happy you said that, because that's in my notes saying about the map design, right? The map design has loads of like hidden paths, but I've got it in brackets saying they're often hidden in plain sight. And you're so right. The middle finger is just like, wait, so I went all the way around and this was just right here, like right in front of me, and you're sort of like, how did I not see this in the first place? But I don't know, it's like cleverly designed for it to just blend in, and they make such great use of like things like depth of field as well to sort of, they don't use it to hide anything, but it just makes the game like it gives you tunnel vision to like focus in specific areas like on the screen, so you do miss a lot of things. But there is to add on to what you were saying about the like map design, there's like loads of little puzzles, and it's almost like Metroidvania inspired. Loads of those little Metroidvania things, how it sort of it will show you something, but you're sort of like, you know, it is for something, but you can't get to it just yet. You don't have the right tools, and I love that sort of stuff.
It's signpost for you, and kind of like, so before this game came out, I got sent a press kit from the developers, and really lovely little press kit. And in there, it came with a notebook and a pen, and I was like, oh, that's a nice little gift, I suppose, you know, not to like kind of be one of the influencers, like, oh, look what I got. But it is one of these games that if you see something knocking around, it probably does help you to make a note, a physical in the real world note about things, because you will forget little, this over here, what does this hook do? I can't use this hook yet, and then you get something to use the hook, and you forget, oh, where did I see that hook earlier? Oh god. And they also sent me a little, in that press kit there was a little book, which, because this game, my favorite thing about this game, I think, is that it kind of hits on, you know, you're a kid and you get a game for the first time and you'd open up the slipcase, and on the way home you read through the little instruction booklet and you'd be like, oh, I wonder what this means, oh, look at this. This game does that exact same thing, except the instruction booklet is in game and it's a collectible. So as you go through it, you'll collect a page here, a page there, and you can start to decipher, because none of it's in English or like a real language. It's all in its like in-game like runes, and so you can't really decipher it. If you figure it out, you can figure out a word or a letter here or there, but for the most part, you're kind of inferring what these graphics and what these words mean alongside them. And again, alongside the oblique level design and kind of the way it kind of teases you and pulls you on in certain ways, that is such a good device for like saying, oh yeah, at some point there's going to be a well and you can toss things down the well. Like, what? Can I? Where? Where's this well? What are these things? What are you on about?
Where is it? I would say that they look gorgeous, by the way, like the illustrations and stuff like that. In game, I'm not sure how it looks in the book, but like in game, I was like, it's quite smart the way it is. You said it sort of infers what needs to be done, because the game is quite simple, right? I think there's one page where it's just like him holding a shield, the little fox just holding a shield. Or I love the one where they discuss, I'll speak about combat in a second, the iframes. I was just like, okay, I'll put it on screen. But little stuff like that I really like that. I really do like the way they teach you. Because exactly. If you didn't have the book beforehand, because not everyone's going to have the physical book to hold, this is essentially how the game teaches you how to play. You are finding the tutorial, basically, and I love that. There's very little hand holding. You kind of just start. You find a stick in a chest, and you're just off. You're just off on an adventure, really.
Yeah, exactly that.
Pretty cool. I love games that just let you figure it out, man. I'm not gonna lie, they're my favorite games.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just go off into this world. It's not massive though, so it's not. You don't feel overwhelmed. You kind of just push forward. So just going through my notes again now. Yeah. So the way they teach you how to play the game is fantastic. The map design, incredible. Loads of hidden paths.
Do combat?
The combat is, this is a weird one, because I really like the simplicity of the combat. Here's how I like my combat in video games, right? I like simple but high lethality. So you will, like, if you get hit once or twice, you're dead. But as you're playing, you don't really have to like focus on doing some intense combo. So a bit like you could say like Hades, for example. Like you don't have to press many buttons. There's not many buttons for you to press. It's dodge, light, and strong or special. You know what I mean? And there's always like an item move, like you can say. There's not really much to focus on that will like confuse you as you're playing.
And I think another thing I like about that is as you pick up items, and because again, you don't know what any of them do, you got a stick of dynamite, you can guess, oh, this might blow something up, or you've got like some sort of like fox cake or berry or something, so that would probably heal me, but you don't know until you try it out. But also the items are limited, so you pick it up in a chest and you've got one, it's like, oh, I should save that for a boss fight, and then use it in the boss fight, and it might not do at all what you think it's gonna. And you can also slot each of these items into any button on your pad. So if you're used to playing games where you press B to attack, you can slot it into B or into X. I quite like that freedom it gives you, because it lets you develop your own flow and lets you like kind of play it the way you want to. It's only a small thing, but again, it just gives you a bit more freedom, a bit more control over. It's very simple combat with a lot of ingredients you can use to make it a bit more refined if you want to.
Yeah, definitely. With those dynamites, by the way, and bombs, apparently you shouldn't be saving them. I don't know where I saw it in the game, but apparently if you throw enough of them, something happens. I don't know what happens. I don't know what happens, but something happens if you throw enough bombs in this game, apparently. Because do you do that thing in adventure games where you'll find something and you'll be like, I'll need this for later, so I'm never going to use it. I'll take an item from the start of the game right until the end because I might need it for something bigger. It ruins my experience when I play games all the time. It's something I'm trying to break out of. I need to start using more items. You should see my inventory in Elden Ring because I save everything. I'm not crafting at all. But so if you throw all the bombs, something happens.
All right, good to know.
It's surprisingly challenging, to be honest.
The fact that we're having that conversation even right now, it feels like that is, when I was a kid, I go into school and two of us have been playing the same game, and it's like, if you did this, like this would happen. Because the game doesn't give you this, and it drip feeds stuff to you, and it doesn't have it all written down. It's nice to be able to have that kind of. I think that's what they're going for. There's this like very nostalgic element to Tunic, and it really, really beats that drum very well. So
I think this is like the best way to do indies at the moment. Like the last indie game I played was Eastwood, and it's that like sort of the old school vibes but with all of the new school like technology to like present it like
exactly.
And I just love what's going on with like the indie scene and the indie games coming out at the moment.
Well, my favorite thing about that, and I think this is definitely true of Tunic, is that I've just turned 30, right? So I grew up 3 decades ago, and I think there's a school of developers around this age, a little bit older, a little bit younger, that are now getting to the point where they're making the games that they grew up playing, and it's all kind of like we're in a kind of a sweet spot around this time where things that are kind of retro but also kind of modern, and like we've got game development's got there's a lot of democratization to it. You can get into it a bit easier than you could back in the past because of engines and things like that. Like I say, this is a one-man team for the most part at Finji. So Finji are publishing it, but Andrew himself is like a one-man team, and he's got some help from the publisher, but I think it's a really, really nice way of paying homage to the reason that we're all doing what we're doing now and listening to this video or being on the website and whatever, because we love games. And this definitely feels like a game made by someone that loves games. So
absolutely, man. He definitely had an idea in his mind, and he said, "Yep, I'm sticking to it. I'm sticking to it." But you can see like the modern influences as well, like in the gameplay. I'd say things like there's a bit of like Dark Souls in there, I'm not gonna lie. So when you die in Tunic, you will explode and lose your coins, Sonic style. But when you when you die, you will go to like a shrine, and then from that shrine, you can go back to where you died. And then your like remnant will be there, and you can get back you can recoup some of your losses, basically. And I was like, okay, so you can see the more modern influences in there, which I really liked. And those like shrines, those respawn shrines, they respawn the enemies back as well, similar to how like a bonfire would, or a campfire, or Sight of Grace would in the Souls games.
Exactly.
Little things like that are pretty cool, man.
And also, like, this is true of the Souls games as well, but you can pick up like magic items, so you can get like a little staff that shoots fire, and if you rest at the sites, it'll. And also, you've got health potions, and you can get more flasks by finding parts and doing stuff and beating bosses. So in that way, it is very Soulsy. You're right. And going to these sites will restock you up. So you're gonna want to do one of these sites near a boss. But you're still going to have to run a little gauntlet of enemies before you get to the boss, because that's what this game design is. It's somewhere between like a 2D Souls and sorry, not 2D, but like a top-down Souls and a Zelda game kind of rolled into one.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I like it, to be honest. I really like it. I think the palette cleanser thing that you said, that is sticking in my head now. As it's just a game that you can just play, have a bit of fun of it, and just appreciate it for what it is, and then sort of maybe get back to the larger game you was playing. But definitely, I'm definitely really enjoying it. And I spoke about the combat being quite challenging, because I called it simple, but it is still challenging. But there is quite a few accessibility options as well. If you like the feel, if you like the look of the game, and you just want to just explore, you don't want to get into the combat too much, there is options like you can't die. You can't die. Or like, I think it's like infinite stamina is in there as well, infinite health. So if you just want to play, have a vibe, get cozy, then
I think that's
those
it.
options are there for you as well.
It's definitely one of them cozy games. But the thing is, cozy games are typically umbrellaed with casual games, and I think Finji can be played like that, like you say, because the accessibility options. But if you're coming off the back of like a Souls game and you still got the itch for something quite hard, but you want something a bit shorter, a bit nicer, that looks absolutely stunning, that isn't entirely set in a bleak gothic ass castle, then go for Finji, because it's set in a lovely woodland.
Tunic.
Sorry, go for Tunic. And also, if you've got a bit of hankering for something a bit retro and you're kind of missing the games you used to play, Tunic definitely feels like that, with, as you say, much more of the modern sensibilities, and without any of that kind of awkward stuff you forget about when you're thinking of these games. That's, you know what, that's what it is. It feels like Tunic feels like what you remember Zelda playing like. You go back now and it plays really awkward and it's a bit old and it kind of has aged, but Tunic feels like what it does in your memories, you know?
I think that's going to be the title of the video. Tunic feels like what you remember Zelda to be. That's the title, man. That's definitely the title. Right. So that is a talk about Tunic. Grab it. I think that by the time you're listening to this, the game will be out on PC and Xbox, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Is it on Game Pass day one? Is it Game Pass?
I do not know.
Let's hope it's on Game Pass. Let's hope it's on Game Pass. If it is, I'll put it in the description. But it should be quite. I think it's one of these games that's not like a massively full price thing. If you're sick of spending 40 quid on games, then Tunic is coming in a bit cheaper as well, which is, again, as a palate cleanser, something between things to see through as you're waiting for that next big release you're mega excited about. It's definitely the kind of game you want. Or just add it to your list of games to play, because we are about to go through the summer drought. We are about to go through the summer drought, so maybe just add this to your list if you think it looks cool. The guy Andrew Shouldice put a lot of work into this.
And you can tell definitely.
Cool. Right, that has been Tunic. I hope you enjoyed the gameplay. My name is Dorrani, and of course Dom is here. And peace out, everyone. Check out VG247.com. Like and subscribe and all of those nice things.
Thank you for watching, everyone.
Peace.